Good afternoon. We begin with a pilot who allegedly flew hundreds of flights for Air Canada without the proper license.
Peel police making an arrest as part of a complex fraud investigation dubbed Project Icarus. CTV's Jon Woodward has been following this story. He joins us live now from Peel Police Headquarters with more. And John, no doubt people are wondering, how does something like this happen?
Yeah, Michelle, officers said it's like a movie. They couldn't believe it. Imagine discovering that a pilot of these big passenger jets had been flying since 2009 and wasn't licensed to do so. And they also allege he made a false police report to cover his tracks. Earlier this month, a Peel police officer arrested Air Canada pilot Jeffrey Wall. That's after an investigation where they were tipped off by Transport Canada. A routine check of his license showed up some discrepancies, and they discovered he'd flown more than 900 domestic flights in that time, earned more than $2.9 million in salary. The pilot, 59, he's facing charges of fraud over $5,000, forging documents, possessing counterfeit marks, and public mischiefs. Here's what officers had to say about it just moments ago.
The investigation garnered evidence in support of allegations that indicate the accused operated as a pilot in command, a captain of aircraft between 2009 and 2025 without having ever possessed an airline transport pilot license aeroplane, known as an ATPLA. This high-level license is a requirement to operate the type of aircraft the accused flew at the rank of captain. Evidence also supports the allegation that the accused had not completed the associated and necessary Transport Canada examinations required to earn an ATPLA prior to or during his career.
It's important to note that police say Wall did have a commercial pilot's license, just not the kind of license that you need to fly these big passenger jets, 767s, 777s, and 787s. And the example that they used to illustrate this was, it's like a licensed family doctor going into a hospital and performing brain surgery. So we did get in touch with Air Canada. They sent us a statement, and here is some of that in part. It is that... One moment. This individual, who had been promoted to captain, lacked the mandatory airline transportation pilot license for the position. Immediately upon Air Canada's discovery of this, the individual was removed from active duty, and the company voluntarily reported the matter to Transport Canada. The former pilot is no longer employed by Air Canada. So it is important to note that these are charges. Jeffrey Wall has not had a chance to defend himself yet. We have reached out to him, and we will report what he says. His first appearance is at the end of June, but he's not flying anymore, possibly as a result of some of this. He retired in last year. Reporting live from Peel Regional Police Headquarters, I'm Jon Woodward. Back to you.
Thank you, John. Next, a barn went up in flames in Vaughan. Emergency crews called to the scene in the area of Kirby Road and Weston Road. This was around 1:30 in the morning. York police say the fire has been knocked down, but crews are continuing to monitor for hotspots. This incident is being treated as suspicious, and the Ontario Fire Marshal's office has been called in to investigate. No injuries reported here.
Still to come, Ottawa is planning to propose a social media ban for kids under 16. We'll have those details a little later in the newscast.
But first, the federal government has launched consultations on the future of Billy Bishop Airport.
It comes as the Ford government is moving to expand the facility, including bringing jets to the waterfront. CTV's Queen's Park Bureau Chief Siobhan Morris has been following the battle over Billy Bishop and joins us live with the latest. Siobhan.
Well, this is the next step in a really long process. We've heard from the Port Authority that expanding the airport in any capacity could take as long as 25 years. This portal is now open through Transport Canada. The minister in charge says they're looking to hear from people who live in Toronto, Ontario, and beyond, people who would like to use this airport, from business as well, all to get feedback on what they think of the idea of adding to the capacity here at Billy Bishop Airport. It's something we know that the Port Authority, which is an arm's-length federal body. They would like to do. They're developing a plan right now. We know the Premier, of course, has been a very vocal advocate for growing the airport. He says to be competitive, add more choice for travelers in Ontario and for people coming into the city. We asked the Transport Minister this morning what he'll do if the feedback he gets is negative.
I'm not going to prejudge anything. We want to, as I just said, this is a multifaceted issue, and we want to make sure we hear all the views.
I'm worried about more lines, selfishly, getting in and out. I do like the idea of being able to go further, but I think construction period is going to be years, and it's going to be a headache.
It's going to create a bunch of noise pollution. I think that's terrible. There is already the traffic downtown is wild. People cannot get anywhere.
We always believe in consultation. I think it's going to add thousands of jobs, attract more tourists. It's going to make Pearson more competitive on flights, and it's just going to be convenient.
The public consultation period is open until July 24th. We don't know exactly what this means for the plan that the Port Authority is developing, some sort of pitch about an expanded airport. The Port Authority has said that process of developing a plan could take as long as a year, construction up to 25. Reporting live, I'm Siobhan Morris. Nathan and Michelle, back to you.
Thank you, Siobhan. The Premier is in Washington for a second day promoting his Fortress North America strategy. The Premier is set to meet with representatives from the automotive, agriculture, and business sectors, as well as sit down with some high-ranking members of Congress. Last night, he attended a reception with Ross Perot, Jr., who serves as chair of the board of the U.S. Chamber of Commerce. This morning, the Premier spoke with reporters in the U.S. Capitol.
We had a great visit so far. Yesterday, jam-packed, and jam-packed today as well. I'm just making sure that we're sending a message to policymakers, business leaders regarding building Fortress North America. So this is a really great document about getting the USMCA deal done as quickly as possible.
Ford says the Americans have expressed concern about economic uncertainty and instability during every meeting he's attended in Washington, and says everyone is holding on to their investments until the trade deal is done. The Premier says he spoke with the federal government and the Canadian ambassador before traveling to D.C.
Housing advocate Eric Lombardi is the latest candidate to enter the race to become the leader of the Ontario Liberal Party.
Our economy hasn't grown for 25 years once you account for immigration. Young Ontarians face terrible job and housing markets, and the quality and access to our healthcare and education systems is falling, and fast. You know it, and so do most Ontarians.
The former finance and technology entrepreneur has been a strong voice on housing reform. He joins 4 other confirmed candidates in the race: Navdeed Bains, Dylan Mirando, Lee Fairclough, and Rob Suryanitz.
Air Canada maintenance engineers rallied outside Pearson Airport this morning.
Currently, we're in a bargaining unit with 11,000 members. 9,000 of those members are IAMW members with whom we have no community of interest. So we're being grouped, skilled trades group is being grouped in with general laborers who are basically negotiating for us. We have nobody at the table right now. Our negotiation subcommittee has resigned.
The Aircraft Mechanics Fraternal Association is pushing to be placed in their own separate union. The group previously submitted a request to the Canadian Industrial Relations Board and is now seeking a reconsideration decision. The city and Toronto Zoo are launching a new pilot program.
It will provide complimentary field trips for TDSB classes beginning next school year. CTV's Beth McDonnell has been following this story and joins us live now with more. Beth, the Zoo Classic field trip.
Yes, Michelle, elementary and high school students from across Toronto, actually all 4 boards, will be getting a free trip to the zoo during the next school year. Now, these field trips are part of a pilot project and will be available to students from all 4 boards, as I mentioned, across Toronto, and to all students from kindergarten all the way to grade 12. Right now, a ticket for a child between 3 and 12 years old costs nearly $30. The zoo says $100,000 $100,000 for this program were included in the mayor's 2026 budget. Another $200,000 was added through a package by council to make the total funding $300,000.
That's 300,000 kids from every school across the city, kindergarten to grade 12. Come September, from the earliest years of learning right to graduation, kids will have an opportunity to experience the zoo as a living classroom.
So this new pilot program will directly advance one of our goals in our Guardians of the Wild strategic plan. And it's a simple but ambitious idea that every young person should get outside and have the opportunity to connect with nature and become a guardian of wild for the natural world. And this announcement today is going to turn that idea into a reality.
The program was inspired by pioneers in the field of wildlife research, people like Dr. Jane Goodall. The field trips start in September. Reporting live, I'm Beth McDonnell. Nathan, back to you.
Thank you, Beth. The Toronto Caribbean Carnival will officially begin this weekend. The launch will take over Scarborough Town Centre on Saturday from 1 to 10 p.m. It will feature performances, an international marketplace, Caribbean food, as well as a preview of the costumes that will be part of this year's festivities.
We may just think of a dress, but just every single thing about it is getting them together, carrying the kids to the carnival, people getting the whole mass ready for the whole festival this year. And it's also the history. Women being part of what we've done over the years. So we want to celebrate them this year.
The Junior Carnival Parade is set for July 18th at Malvern Community Center. The Grand Parade will be held August 1st on the exhibition grounds.
And Caribbean temperatures are on the way in the days ahead. Right now, we take a live look at Nathan Phillips Square, signs of FIFA, which we are excited for later this week. But there are some unsettled conditions on tap for today and a few other days this week. Lindsay Morrison is here to bring us up to speed. Lindsay.
Yeah, Michelle, we're already now starting to see some wet weather creep its way into the GTA. This is what it looks like on the satellite and radar. And I'm going to zoom in a little closer so you can see that it is raining in places like Hamilton, Burlington, Oakville, Mississauga, now pushing into the Etobicoke area. A nice little heavy downpour around Brampton, Milton. You've had some wet weather as well. Temperature-wise, you are going to find once again that it is a cooler day along the shoreline of Lake Ontario, but less so around Burlington this time. We've got southerly and southeasterly winds that are influencing our current temperature. Meanwhile, at Pearson, 24 degrees already feels like 29. It feels like 35 this hour in Niagara Falls, and that's going to be the story this week, becoming much more humid in the coming days. We're at a 9 on the UV index, even though we have had an increase in cloud cover, and we are watching for showers and thunderstorms today. This is your day at a glance, and yes, we are going to be a little unsettled in the coming days. We'll talk all about it with a full look at your weather forecast coming up. For now, though, Nathan, over to you.
All right. Thank you, Lindsay. The countdown to the FIFA World Cup is officially on, with the first game in Canada happening on Friday right here in Toronto. CTV's Renee Rogers has been following the preparations and joins us live now with more. And Renee, there is so much hype and anticipation leading up to that big game.
There really is, Nathan. Just 3 more sleeps until the big day. And in the meantime, host cities Toronto and Vancouver are busy putting the final touches on their stadiums and making last-minute preparations to welcome the world. Now, of course, in Toronto, as you know, there is the Countdown concert tomorrow ahead of Fan Fest. And then, of course, on Friday, the big day. Canada will play its first game of the tournament at Toronto Stadium against Bosnia and Herzegovina. But despite all of this hype, Nathan, in the 2 host cities, not everyone seems to be on board with the estimated price tag attached to these games at more than $1 billion. We did get some new data today from the nonprofit Angus Reid Institute, and it is showing us that 7 in 10 residents in both host cities say the public costs are not worth the trade-offs. And some of the trade-offs that they say are disruptions, street closures, the lopsided amount of revenue FIFA will be taking, and they also point to, you know, the whole summer cultural and event calendar being rearranged. But at the same time, host cities are counting on a massive revenue boost from these games. FIFA's own projections show that it could bring in $2 billion. However, BMO also did its own projections last week. It said that number could reach up to $6.5 billion.
Wow, and speaking of revenue, bars can open late during the World Cup. What could this mean for Canada's alcohol industry?
I can tell you, I'm sure that it's hoping it will mean more revenues. And we can see already that different alcohol brands, Heineken, Anheuser-Busch, InBev, Molson Coors, they are spending tens of millions of dollars on advertising, sponsorships for these matches. And any boost for that industry would be a welcome one, because alcohol sales have been on the decline for years, not only here in Canada, but in the United States, Europe, and elsewhere. And while analysts say there will be a short-term spike in sales, they don't expect it to last long. Here's what one professor, who is actually an expert on alcohol throughout history, has to say. Take a listen.
After FIFA is over, whether that's going to carry over and lead to a general, prolonged increase in alcohol consumption, I don't know, but I don't see why it would. And I suspect that, what FIFA is going to do is will give a short-term bump to sales, and then the sales will then just fall back to where they were before FIFA.
And he cites a broader shift away from alcohol being driven by the younger generation. So while there will likely be a boost in alcohol sales, it sounds like the memories of these tournaments are going to last a lot longer than any sort of uptick in sales for alcohol.
All right. CTV's Renee Rogers in the CTV National Newsroom. Thank you.
You're welcome.
The federal government is reportedly planning to propose a ban on social media for kids under 16 years old.
As I said last week, with respect to AI specifically, the government will be taking steps to protect people's data, their privacy, and their children. So that is a focus of this government. Yes.
A government source tells CTV News the ban will be part of the online harms bill set to be introduced tomorrow. It comes as social media bans for youth have been gaining traction in Canada and around the world. In April, Manitoba became the first province to propose banning kids under 16 from using social media and AI chatbot platforms. Ontario, Saskatchewan, New Brunswick, and Quebec have all indicated they are looking at imposing their own restrictions. Globally, Australia enacted the world's first nationwide ban on social media for kids under 16. France, Brazil, Indonesia, and Malaysia have also enacted legislation governing young people's use of social media. Several other countries are also considering similar bans.
The Gordie Howe International Bridge is set to open by the end of the week, according to the Prime Minister.
It's positive news. Obviously, the bridge will be open at the end of the week, and a symbol, but also a fact of cooperations between our countries. Great for Canadians going across the border, Americans coming across the border, and for commerce. And I just want to salute those who constructed it on both sides, and looking forward to getting it done.
A formal ribbon cutting for the $4.7 billion bridge, which will connect Windsor and Detroit, is expected on Friday. The bridge is jointly owned by the federal government and the state of Michigan. Construction began in 2018, but has faced numerous delays. In Washington, Premier Ford suggested the bridge may not open as reported.
How committed are you? What it convinced Donald Trump to allow the Gordie Howe Bridge to open?
You know something, I'm not too sure. That's going to be up to President Trump and the Prime Minister to open this bridge. It's going to create thousands and thousands of jobs and increased flow back and forth on the Gordie Howe Bridge.
It's opening. Are you aware?
Well, I hope so. I really hope so.
Why are you less optimistic about the bridge opening?
Well, let's see if it opens or not. Hopefully it will. If they say it's going to open, I'm just hearing two stories, but that's all right.
The immediate future of the bridge was cast in doubt when U.S. President Donald Trump insisted in February his country would have to be compensated before he would allow it to open. The Prime Minister has not said whether Canada offered any concessions to get the bridge opened. While home ownership is out of reach for many Canadians, some are simply struggling to find an affordable place to rent.
That's led to some people taking up residence in highway carpool parking lots in trailers and RVs. CTV's Jeff Pickle has more on what experts describe as hidden homelessness.
The carpool parking lot is not much.
My backyard of sorts, I guess.
But for nearly a year, it's been home for George and his girlfriend.
Well, I was working, and then I suddenly lost work, and I couldn't pay my rent anymore. So it actually just started off with me just staying in my truck.
George's story similar to so many others who find themselves without a home.
My girlfriend works landscaping and then snow removal in the winter, and I just work on cars. Yeah, we're hoping to save up into some money to get first and last.
While still working, they say finding a place to rent has not been possible. George says the isolation of the parking lot keeps them safe from unwanted conflict.
The last spot that I was at, the neighbors did. I mean, you see all my windows, they're all still broken from them slinging rocks with a slingshot.
Across the lot, Debbie's situation very similar.
Well, we came here because the rent got boosted up so high since the COVID.
With her husband working full-time, she says the trailer is a good temporary solution.
I'm a lot luckier than other people. They're in their tents, and I got security of the cameras here, the lights. I got my generator for electricity. We can bath, we can shower, everything here. So it's a lot better than most places.
Those who park at the carpool parking lot say they don't mind and say they've seen George and his girlfriend working hard to keep the lot clean.
They constantly are picking up garbage. So yeah, it's good. It's not like there's no parking in the parking lot.
Both the OPP and the MTO say they are aware and monitoring the situation. Experts tell us this type of housing is more common than we may think.
We usually think about the people that we see on the street in an encampment on the sidewalk, but that's actually only the tip of the iceberg.
According to Day, it's the stability that makes this an attractive location.
A parking lot or something like that offers to people is a little bit of consistency and a little bit of stability where hopefully they're not being moved along every few days, and so they can kind of get settled and figure out what next steps are.
And while people like George and Deborah work towards a better situation,
there is some good people that is homeless too. Just every circumstance is out there. So there's really no other place to go for us. That's why we're here.
They are hopeful to remain where they are.
Jeff Pickle, CTV News.
Meantime, Canada and other allies say they've taken coordinated action to hold extremist Israeli settlers accountable. The UK, Australia, France, and Norway, along with Canada, say the move is in response to what they describe as a deteriorating situation in the West Bank. The group issued new sanctions today and warned they stood ready to take further measures if the Israeli government fails to take urgent steps to address the situation on the ground. With just days to go until the World Cup, Canada's Ismail Kone has come a long way. Born in Africa and raised in Montreal, the midfielder found his footing on the pitch.
CTV senior editor-in-chief anchor Omar Sachedina on how soccer and family keep Kone grounded in life's biggest moments.
Ismail Kone is a powerhouse on the pitch. Born in Ivory Coast, he came to Montreal when he was just 7, a time of massive change for a young boy who looked at soccer as a comforting constant.
My dad played professionally back home. My mom played when she could. All my uncles played from both sides, so I picked up a ball as soon as I can. So I just remember like it was bringing me so much joy.
Though the move was a major transition.
You were quite young, but what do you remember about that time?
I never experienced cold before, so and loneliness, so it was very difficult. I remember being not the easiest child to my mom because I just don't understand why she would make that choice. At the time, I didn't understand that there was new opportunities coming to this country. Today, I'm able to look back and say I'm so thankful to my mom that she made this choice because it gave me so much chances to be where I am today.
A rising young star in the midfield, he earned a deal with CF Montreal in 2021.
Arriving there, Kone on his debut!
And a year later was on the squad for Canada for the 2022 World Cup in Qatar, appearing in all 3 matches. He then played in Europe, first with Watford in England, and then to Olympique Marseille in 2024, which at the time was one of the biggest transfers for a Canadian player. But it was challenging because he got limited minutes. It's also where this video showing Kone in a heated exchange with the head coach made headlines because clubs rarely release video of internal conflict, especially with younger players. It's also, Kone says, a place that helped him grow.
I think my approach of the game completely changed because of Marseille, because it's a way bigger club than where I was.
He remained in France, played for Rennes, and now plays for Sassuolo in Italy.
Ishmael Kone!
Through it all, helping his home country, Canada, deliver.
Kone! He sends Canada into the semi-finals of Copa America!
Including scoring the decisive penalty in a shootout win over Venezuela at the Copa America, which helped Canada reach the semifinals. It's the kind of success he wants to repeat, among the lucky few who understand the magnitude of the moment, having already played on the biggest stage.
When we walk on the pitch, I just looked around. It's like I just saw the banners, woke up FIFA 2022. It's like it really struck me, like we're at the World Cup. This is some great players, they never played the World Cup.
And now he gets to do it again in a matter of days on home soil. Omar Sachdina, CTV News, Toronto.
Well, the heat is on this week here in southern Ontario. And as we like to say in this part of the country, this week it won't so much be the heat, it'll be the humidity. Starting tomorrow, feeling into the mid-30s. By Thursday, feeling closer to 40. Temperatures will settle down as we make our way into next weekend. But before that, we are also unsettled with the risk of thunderstorms and the chance of scattered showers over the next couple of days here. This is an early look at Friday and the World Cup, Canada's first game here at home. Right now we are forecasting a high of 29 degrees, feeling warmer than that, feeling well into the 30s. And yes, we are looking at some showers, but perhaps a little earlier in the day, that would be good. Stay with us. We've got a detailed look at your 7-day forecast after the break.
When you see it happen, send it to CTV News. Text 10400 from your screen to ours. Text 10400.
Union Summer is back for its 9th season, bringing food and entertainment to Union Station. Our Jessica Smith joins us live now from the station with more on what's going on. And Jess, this is just yet another sign of summer right here in our city.
It feels like we can officially begin the summer season, and this is Toronto's busiest transit hub, and there's so much going on here on a normal basis, but you add this in plus FIFA and it's going to be fantastic. Alex, I want to bring you in here. Talk to me about the 9th season. You guys have so much food. You've got new vendors this year, performers, but it's all focusing on local. Talk to me about season 9 of Union Summer.
Absolutely. We're here really celebrating the best of Toronto this summer on Union Summer presented by TD. We have 4 amazing food vendors that are local fan favorites in their class, and of course an amazing dessert vendor and the Carlsberg Bar as well. And we're celebrating 63 days with over 120 free live performances that showcase local Toronto talent. So we really have everything from blues music to DJs, day parties, R&B, like a really wide range of amazing performances.
So how does it work? I mean, I see people, they're walking by on the street, they're looking in thinking, okay, what is this? Especially if they're not from the city, maybe you're visiting for FIFA and you're like, what is going on? How do we get in? How does it work? Do people have to pay? Do you have to reserve? How does it happen?
So we have completely transformed the plaza in front of Union Station into a dynamic open air festival, and it is completely free to enter. So if you just want to come and watch a show, come on in. You're more than welcome. We have plenty of seating here, and if you're feeling a little peckish or thirsty, we have all these food vendors where you can purchase food. And if you're a customer with an eligible TD card, you can actually get 10% off your food every single day of the festival. So it's really a great place, whether you're looking for a new place to grab lunch or drinks with friends after work, bring your family down for a great show. It's really a place for everyone.
It's a great hub because if you're going to a Jays game, you're going to a FIFA game, you can come through here. But speaking of the food, Armin, I want to bring you in here. You're with Ugly Delicious, and I commented on the crinkle fries because a good French fry will get me every single time, but it's your first time a part of Union Summer. Why did you guys want to join into all this excitement?
Honestly, it's such an honor to be here. The music is bumping. There's a lot of people. It's the vibe. The people is here. The booths are full. We're smashing burgers, Wagyu specifically. So it's an honor.
Okay, so on the menu, is there something that I have to try first? I mean, obviously the burgers look fantastic, but your French fries have like extra seasoning on them. Tell me what I have to try.
Yes. The Cajun ugly fries. So pretty much what that is, it's our ugly fries. It's a ugly sauce. Caramelized onions, smashed patty with the cheese and top with chives. Yeah, it's very good.
Armin, I'm starving. So we're going to send things back to the studio because after describing all that, I absolutely have to try the fries. But it's going on until August 9th. You have lots of time to come on down. It is free to enter. That's my favorite price. We'll send things back inside. I'm going to go. Can I get a burger?
Absolutely.
Okay, I'm going to get a burger and fries. Send it back inside.
You know it's going to be good. Thank you so much, Jess. It never fails. Burgers
can I
and
have
fries.
some ugly
the
fries?
meal of champions. Union Summer, Caravana, Pride. Don't forget FIFA. Just one of many things happening.
There is so much. And I think we need to, every year at this time, we need to savor this moment because we're going to blink and we'll be talking September, right? It's like we're in it now. We've got the patio season and we've had a lot of beautiful weather in recent weeks. This is one of those unsettled weeks, but I keep kind of hanging on to you saying it's not a washout.
It's not going to be a washout. No particular day is going to be a washout. However, that said, a couple of the showers that we're keeping an eye on even today are slow moving and could bring some heavy amounts of rain to some places. So, for example, we have a special weather statement in place for today for the Barrie area. I'll show you why it could be a bit of a rainy afternoon there. But for us, yeah, it's unsettled, but that's also synonymous with summer. This thunderstorm activity, it goes hand in hand with the heat and humidity. Weather is brought to you by the Presler Law Firm. Injury lawyers, you don't pay unless they win. Just want to remind you what it looked like early this morning. We had a beautiful blue sky to start things off. Sky not looking quite as blue anymore. We have seen the cloud cover increase, and we've got some showers and some thunder showers making their way through the GTA at this hour. This is what it looks like on the satellite and radar, just starting to creep its way into downtown Toronto, the West End. I know you've been dealing with this for some time. A few thunderstorm cells starting to bubble up in Niagara region. And again, pay attention to the Bruce Peninsula around southern Georgian Bay and into the Barrie area, because this is where some pretty heavy and steady rain could fall through later this afternoon into the evening hours. We've got a risk of thunderstorms for us too into the overnight hours. And then tomorrow might be a little bit of a repeat. So the areas that I mentioned under that special weather statement, 50 millimeters of rain is going to be possible. Some of these cells could do something called training, and that's where the same area gets hit again and again by storms. So this is around 6 p.m. tonight, a little snapshot. Parts of the GTA likely to be dealing with active weather then too. Overnight, heads up anyone east of Georgian Bay. Looks like we could get some pretty potentially severe thunderstorms through the night tonight. Risk of storms continues for us into tomorrow morning. Notice the dry periods though and the sunshine for your Wednesday afternoon. Overnight and into early Thursday, you guessed it, another round of active weather, showers or storms. And then Friday morning, we're going to be paying close attention to this one. Chance of showers, but again, not looking like a washout. In fact, a good portion of Friday is going to be dry, which is great news for the World Cup Canada game that's going to be happening. Take these numbers with a grain of salt, because any slight change in the track or the development of storms is going to influence how much rain folks get. But again, around southern Georgian Bay today, lots of rain expected, and through tomorrow as well. 24 degrees feels like 29 right now. 26 is what we're forecasting for a daytime high. I do think it's going to feel into the 30s though as we make our way through this afternoon. Yesterday's temperature was about 24 degrees. Tonight we remain quite mild with an overnight low of 19. Tomorrow night, we might stay above 20 degrees. 29 degrees is going to feel like 35 tomorrow afternoon. And so, yes, tomorrow is one of those hot, humid, unsettled days overall. There's a little journey across southern Ontario, and your 7-day forecast looks like this. 31 degrees for the high on Thursday, feeling like 39. And then there's the weekend. It looks a little drier, a little cooler, and perhaps a little more pleasant for spending time outside overall. That's the weather for now. Nathan, over to you.
Thank you, Lindsay. The Blue Jays will continue their series with the Philadelphia Phillies tonight.
Got him in to score. That's the only base runner so far, but Ernie Clement's launching deep to left field. Sosa runs out of room. It's gone.
Ernie Clement hit a solo shot in the 5th inning to cut the Phillies' lead to 5-2. However, that would end up being the final score. Dylan Cease is back from injury to take the ball tonight. First pitch is set for 7:07 at the Rogers Center.
To the NBA Finals, the Spurs beat the Knicks at Madison Square Garden last night in front of a crowd that included U.S. President Donald Trump.
Brunson trying to stop Castle. Towns helping out as well. Once again inside Wembanyama, and he throws it down.
Victor Wembanyama scored 32 points to lead San Antonio to a 115-111 victory. New York still leads the series 2-1. Prior to their loss, the Knicks had won 13 straight playoff games, the second longest streak in NBA playoff history. The teams square off in New York again tomorrow night. Meanwhile, Trump was booed by fans inside Madison Square Garden when he was shown on video screens during the U.S. national anthem. His attendance prompted enhanced security at the game, leading to lengthy wait times for fans.
Team Panama is calling the Nottawasaga Inn in Alliston home as it prepares for the FIFA World Cup. 2 FIFA-approved fields have been created for the players. Media from Panama are also on location to cover the team, and there's an increased police presence at the resort to ensure player safety. Fans will not be allowed on the grounds during the course of Team Panama's stay. There will be a special fan day on Thursday, but the people who will be allowed in have already been selected.
Still to come on CTV News at noon, a new study has found a link between vaping and lung and heart function in young adults. We'll have more on this research when we come back.
A new national report says chronic pain among women, especially women veterans, needs to be addressed immediately.
As CTV's health reporter Pauline Chan tells us, the report came out of a meeting of leading researchers, patients, and policymakers last month.
Hélène Lassalère never experienced chronic pain during her 26 years with the military, but she did after.
Injuries in Afghanistan also. I had like a traumatic birth also. So a lot of things contributed to that. It's not only one thing.
And while Canada's military health care is comprehensive, she says the civilian system is fragmented and challenging for chronic pain, even for a military veteran. Dalhousie professor Alice Aikens was a physiotherapist with the Canadian Armed Forces.
About 22% of Canadian women experience chronic pain, but about 50% of Canadian women veterans experience chronic pain.
And she calls last April's report pivotal.
Women have been underrepresented in health research for far too long. And also, women veterans have been underrepresented even in veteran health research.
The authors are calling for a coordinated pan-Canadian plan to address gaps in care, policies, and research into chronic pain.
So I had to go to one clinic, for example, for the physio, another one for chiro, another one for kinesiology.
The report calls for more one-stop shops to provide treatments more efficiently. And Aiken says while the gathering of data for women and women veterans is somewhat recent, a plan to collect and organize pain data will ensure the best care is offered to women and women veterans. Pauline Chan, CTV News.
A new study has found a link between vaping and lung and heart function in young adults. The study, conducted by the University of Alberta, looked at people in their early 20s who have been using e-cigarettes or vapes for roughly 3 years. The study found a direct link to impaired lung function and potential exercise intolerance. Participants reported no cigarette or marijuana use and went through a traditional lung function test. Some of the participants showed normal lung function, but did experience greater breathlessness during the exercise.
So to come, today is Tax Freedom Day. We'll have more on the financial milestone when we come back.
Waterloo Region's housing market hit a major slowdown last month.
Data shows it was one of the slowest months for home sales in the past 15 years. CTV's Spencer Turcott has the details.
So basically, this is the kitchen.
Standing in the middle of this 5,000 square foot luxury home in Kitchener, developer Soren Serdukin says buyers are less willing to pull the trigger on all types of homes.
We are in the bottom right now.
He's been building and selling homes in Waterloo Region for more than 20 years. He says the slowdown has been building for some time.
Well, for the last 3 years, for sure, was declining.
Data from the Cornerstone Association of Realtors shows home sales in Waterloo Region were well below historical averages.
May was one of the slowest Mays we've had on record in the last 15 years.
But realtors aren't sounding any alarms.
The last 15 years were extraordinary. We were doing 120 kilometers on the highway. Heck, even at some points we're doing 200 kilometers. And right now, I'd say we're doing about 80.
Experts say buyers haven't disappeared. They're simply taking longer to make decisions.
I was out just doing showings right now, but you can see buyers are being very, very selective.
And sellers are having to adjust.
Well, usually we keep it for a good year, and then we adjust the price again.
Detached homes have seen modest price declines, while condos and townhomes have taken a bigger hit.
When you're looking at, townhouses and condos, they definitely plummeted around that 15 to 16% compared to last May.
One factor weighing on sales is slower population growth in the region, which was nearly flat last year. Even so, sales did improve slightly from April to May. So after years of bidding wars and soaring prices, Waterloo Region's housing market appears to be finally catching its breath. Spencer Turcott, CTV News, Kitchener.
Today is Tax Freedom Day, when Canadians start working for themselves rather than the government. A study from the Fraser Institute says it took the first 159 days of the year to bring in enough money for people to pay their tax burden up front. That includes federal, provincial, and municipal taxes. In 2026, the average Canadian family with 2 or more people will pay nearly $73,000 in total taxes.
Coming up, taking a walking tour of Stratford. A local woman has created her own business inspired by similar tours across the pond. NASA has named the crew of Artemis 3 the next mission in preparation for humans returning to the surface of the moon. 3 Americans and an Italian astronaut have been chosen by the space agency. They will conduct a demonstration in Earth's orbit next year. It'll test the rendezvous and docking capabilities between the Orion spacecraft and lunar landers Blue Origin and SpaceX. The mission will be a key test of systems ahead of the moon landing, which is scheduled for the year 2028. The crew introduced today will follow the Artemis 2 mission that saw, of course, Canadian astronaut Jeremy Hansen and 3 others circle the moon in April. Well, the Stratford Festival is in full swing, which means an influx of tourists to that city.
Now, a local woman has launched a new business aimed at teaching visitors more about Stratford. CTV's Scott Miller has the story.
On this site here used to stand our old post office.
Lori Leduc is offering visitors to Stratford something different this summer.
I offer a guided walking tour of downtown Stratford, pointing out some of our local buildings, our unique architecture, and also telling stories about the people, places, and events that shaped the past.
Leduc has spent much of her life in Stratford and area, but after recently spending 18 months in the United Kingdom, she returned to the area with an idea that the tourist-heavy region might be missing something.
There was a bit of a gap. We had great audio tours, we had maps, but nothing about an in-person guide to take you around. And when I travel, that's what I like to do, so I decided to embark on that.
History is right up Leduc's alley with her Master of Arts degree in Public History. Stratford Festival's epic history in the city is obviously front and center in her tours, as is its most famous native son, Justin Bieber. But Leduc does focus on many different parts of Stratford's past that tourists and locals alike might be unaware of.
I point out an interesting tree that we have growing in front of the Perth County Courthouse. It's a royal oak tree given to us by King George VI back in 1937. So coming up to be 90 years of age soon. So a neat little connection to the king and the royal family. I started a women's history tour. That's something new this summer. So I'm always trying to find new topics and new interesting information.
Leduc's Stratford Walking Tours also has a nighttime ghost walking tour along with a river tour. Something for everyone, whether longtime resident or first-time visitor to the Festival City, which sees upwards of 600,000 tourists each and every year.
In the summertime, during the height of the festival, I get the tourists who are visiting Stratford, but I get the locals as well. They come out, maybe want to entertain some family and friends. We'll bring out their guests, but also I do ghost tours, and those are very popular with the locals.
In Stratford, Scott Miller, CTV News.
Loving those blue skies in Stratford. Pretty nice conditions to start the day, but we're keeping our eye on the sky.
And we knew that there was the possibility, the threat of showers, the risk of thunderstorms over the next few days, and we're seeing it now in parts of the GTA. Not going to last all day, but the risk will be there into this evening and overnight as well. So maybe not the best evening for outdoor sports. Keep an eye on the sky and especially an ear out for thunder, because as thunder roars, it's time to head indoors. Overnight tonight, we expect some nocturnal storms too. 19 degrees is the low. That's not so low. And then tomorrow, temperature around 29 degrees, likely to feel like 35 at the height of the day. Once again, though, you find relief closer to the shoreline of Lake Ontario. Next 3 days are looking like this. Friday, all eyes on Friday, and game one, Canada's first game anyway, of the World Cup. It looks as though we could get a few showers that day, but it will not be a washout. Nathan and Michelle.
All right, good to know. Thank you, Lindsay. That's it for CTV News at noon. Remember, you can get Toronto's breaking news all day long on CP24 and at ctvnewstoronto.ca.
For Lindsay Morrison and the whole team here, have a pleasant afternoon. I'm Michelle Dubé.
And I'm Nathan Downer. Be sure to join us later for CTV News at 5 and 6.